strategic significance of the Strait of Hormuz, why the world still relies on this choke point in 2026. Hello and welcome, dear family of this channel. How are you? Today, I have brought you a very special and educational video. Before we dive into the main topic, if you are new to the channel, I respectfully invite you to become a member by subscribing. I kindly ask you to stay with me until the end as we explore today's information. Why does the world rely so heavily on the Strait of Hormuz? To understand why the world in 2026 remains dependent on the Strait of Hormuz, we must look beyond the blue waters and see the invisible energy grid that moves the planet. The Strait of Hormuz is the only gateway connecting the oil-rich Persian Gulf to the world's oceans and is the most vital maritime choke point on Earth. At its narrowest point, the shipping lane is only 2 miles, $3.2 km, wide in either direction. Yet, through this eye of a needle, 25% of the world's maritime oil and 20% of its liquefied natural gas, LNG, pass. In 2026, as international tensions rise, global dependence has reached its peak. Despite decades of talk about energy independence, the survival of the global economy still rests on ships passing through these waters between Oman and Iran. The scale of dependency. To understand the magnitude, one must look at the numbers. Approximately 20 million barrels of oil pass through the strait every day. This isn't just a figure on a document. It is the fuel for billions of cars, thousands of international flights, and the raw energy required to drive global logistics. If the strait were permanently closed, the world would instantly lose a quarter of its liquid energy supply, a gap that producers in the US, Russia, or the North Sea simply cannot fill. Like a high-efficiency machine, the modern world requires a constant drip feed of energy from this passage to function. Beyond oil, the gas bridge. In addition to oil, the strait is a lifeline for the global LNG market, particularly for its leading exporter, Qatar. In the energy landscape of 2026, natural gas serves as a bridge for the transition to green energy. A disruption in Hormuz will halt the flow of gas that powers cities from London to Tokyo. For EU countries striving to detach from Russian gas, Qatari gas arriving via the strait is currently irreplaceable. This dependence isn't just about fuel. It's about the electricity and heating modern society uses to maintain civilization. Impact on global industry. This reliance is most visible in the industrial giants of Asia, China, India, Japan, and South Korea, who are the primary customers of Middle Eastern oil. China alone sources 1/3 of its total oil demand through this narrow lane. If the flow stops, the world's largest manufacturing hub would grind to a halt, leading to shortages of everything from semiconductors to medical supplies. Your phone or electronics are affordable today because of the relative peace maintained in this passage. The economic jugular for producers, for producing nations themselves, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, the UAE, and Kuwait, the strait is an economic jugular vein. These countries have built their civilizations and massive development projects on this export wealth. Without this gateway, their national budgets would collapse within months. While some have built pipelines to bypass the strait, these alternatives can only carry a small fraction of the total flow. This proves that just as the world needs the oil, the Gulf nations desperately need the world's capital. Geopolitics and risks. As seen in 2026, the strait is not just a trade route. It has become a geopolitical volume knob used by Iran to influence international politics. Since the northern half of the strait lies within Iranian territorial waters, the threat of closure is used as a powerful diplomatic tool. Although international maritime law guarantees free movement, the realities of modern warfare, drones and missiles, make legal guarantees fragile. This adds a risk premium to oil prices based on the fear that the strait could be closed at any moment. The hidden food connection. Another hidden dependency lies in the fertilizer industry. The Persian Gulf produces one-third of the urea and ammonia essential for modern agriculture. If these chemicals do not pass through Hormuz, global food production would drop, causing the price of bread, meat, and dairy to soar across all continents. UN reports in 2026 indicate that a crisis in Hormuz leads directly to a global food crisis. This makes it a matter of life and death for millions who may have never even heard of the strait. Security and the finance of fear. The world's fear of a closure is demonstrated by the massive military presence in the area. The U.S. Fifth Fleet and international task forces maintain constant surveillance to keep the passage open. Every passing ship is tracked by satellite, electronic warfare, and military escort. Furthermore, insurance is an invisible force. If insurance premiums spike due to perceived risk, ships will stop sailing. This is known as a finance of fear. Even without a physical explosion, the mere perception of danger can destabilize global markets. Why is there no alternative? Some ask why other routes aren't used. Building new pipelines or ports takes decades and billions of dollars. Even if the world fully transitions to electric cars tomorrow, industrial chemicals from the Middle East will be needed for at least another 20 years. The world's factories and power plants are designed specifically for the unique chemical characteristics of the oil and gas coming from the Persian Gulf. We are tied not just to the water, but to the chemistry of the region's resources. Environmental and humanitarian risks. A conflict in these narrow waters could also lead to an unprecedented oil spill. Such a disaster would not only destroy the ecosystem, but also shut down the desalination plants that provide clean water to countries like the UAE and Saudi Arabia. The world relies on the strait not just for wealth, but for the stability required for human life to continue in a region. Conclusion. Ultimately, the world's dependence on the Strait of Hormuz is a testament to our interconnectedness and vulnerability. This concludes a video I prepared for you today. I hope you enjoyed it and found the information useful. If you liked the video, don't forget to like it and share your thoughts in comments below. Until we meet in the next video with another exciting topic, I wish you all peace, love, and health. Thank you.